Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Ready from Rady's Rides. I'm back at it with one of those deep dive reviews of this car right next to me. What is it? It's a 2024 Toyota GR86 with the Performance Pack. But before we get into this pure form of sports car, let's talk about what the heck is going on here. So I've been wanting to do deeper dives into certain vehicles. If you saw my Dodge Durango Hellcat review, the C8 Corvette E-Ray, this is another vehicle where I felt like just a regular review wasn't enough, and when I want to do more on throttle, behind the wheel goodness to really showcase what this GR86 is about. I get a lot of people that are coming from all sorts of vehicles that are thinking about a GR86 and they're afraid they're going to regret it. So what I want to do is I want you to strap yourself in to that passenger seat, and we're going to go for a little spin here, and I really want to talk about what are the things that are really going to stand out, and at the end of the day, are you going to miss anything else from your previous car? So without further ado, let's hop in and get it done. All right guys, here we are in this 2024 Toyota GR86. Let's start off with some on throttle, especially if you're getting rid of a vehicle that maybe has more horsepower than this one. If you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Yeah! This thing is a freaking hoot. Look at this. Just rev it all the way out to 7,500 RPM on those Brembos. So easy to heel toe downshift, and it just communicates with you. Look at this. So that's the big thing, you know. It's like if you're coming from a car with more horsepower, maybe you got rid of a Mustang EcoBoost, you know, something like that, then what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do when it comes to this kind of car? I think that if you go in it wanting the purest form of driving, this is it. A Subaru BRZ and a Mazda Miata are the purest forms of driving. Now, even though you're lacking in horsepower with this car and torque compared to a lot of other cars, one thing you have to remember, actually a couple things. You're very low to the ground, so it actually feels like you're going faster than what the speedometer is saying. And to me, that could be a really good thing because you don't have to worry too much about getting yourself in trouble with the law. Second, the car weighs 2,800 pounds. Just let that soak in for a second. A Mustang EcoBoost is gonna weigh at least 3,500 pounds. A Nissan, say 350Z, that's like 3,300 pounds. And if you're coming from a Subaru WRX or something of that nature, you're still looking around 3,400 pounds. So you're really undercutting the weight by quite a bit to where it negates a little bit the lower amount of horsepower that you have. The other thing to think about is the connectivity. You know, today when we talk about connectivity, we're talking about USBs and Wi-Fi and all this other crap. The connectivity in this car, you feel all the good stuff. The transmission is a hot knife through butter. One of the better 6-speeds, or I should just say manual transmissions available on the market. You got a clear digital gauge cluster, And what else is really nice is the steering is very, very communicative. Very communicative. Visibility is great as well. But let's go on throttle again. This is second gear. I'm doing about 30 miles an hour. On throttle, here we go. Just put the smile on your face. Look at this. The seats feel fantastic. It's gonna make you a better driver, I promise. It's gonna make you a better driver because it allows you to focus on hitting your points. And if you're really trying to learn how to heel toe downshift, I know so many cars out there today have the automatic rev match downshift feature. This car, hands down, is one of the easiest to heel toe downshift. The pedals, if you can't make it happen in this car, you better stick with an automatic or something because it's really, really straightforward and you just gotta practice. Practice makes perfect. Just like driving properly makes you perfect. Well, your hopes of being perfect, but you keep practicing, it gets you closer to that level of perfection. It's got the modern amenities that you want: wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and new for 2024, you have that Toyota Sensing Eyesight technology, which is going to help keep you safe when you're doing your daily driving. Also, being a rear-wheel drive sports car, a rear-wheel drive car is just very playful. It allows you to move the rear end when you want to square off a corner, have that better exit trajectory. You're getting decent fuel economy compared to if you're coming from a V8 power car. But like I said, the art of driving and having the proper road really makes this car so freaking fun. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. No torque dip anymore. Dab the brakes, do a little dab. It feels good. It feels really, really good. And this is what I'm saying. It's like it gives you this confidence to just throw her around and she wants to dance. My question is, are you ready to follow? Are you ready to follow? Or are you gonna be hung up on that you can't be seen in this type of car? It doesn't have the horsepower to where you could brag to all your friends and all that kind of stuff. I mean, you're gonna miss outright acceleration. I mean, having a car, especially if you're coming from like a Mustang GT or Camaro or something like that, you're gonna miss that torque. But like I said, with the proper road, you don't even think about it. You don't even think about what you're missing out on, because they have this car so dialed in, especially with the Performance Pack. I mean, I think that's another nice thing to mention, is that Performance Pack with the brakes, with the sack suspension, the car's just hooked up. And if you're like, if you want to, you know, put some personalization into it, you could add an exhaust. I mean, hell, you could even add, I've seen turbochargers and superchargers added to the flat 4. Now, just something to remember, you're gonna have to beef up the rest of the drivetrain. A lot of times when people add a supercharger or a turbocharger, they wind up breaking half shafts, they wind up blowing the transmission because of the extra power. So just something to think about, that you're gonna have to beef up other parts of the car. But even in stock form, one of the best transmissions. The feedback to the wheel, I mean, it's almost as good as hydraulic steering when it comes to feel. And I mean, turning is just laser sharp. You move the wheel, you're going. She's heading over. So that's another thing to think about with this car, is just how quick it responds. And then for everyday usability, you're gonna be surprised. You fold down these rear seats, you're gonna be able to easily do the grocery shopping, go to the mall, go to the store, whatever it is that you need, you're gonna be able to do very, very easily. And then the fact that this is what originally sports cars were about. They were about being light, nimble, not a ton of horsepower, but really light, nimble, fun to drive cars. And that's another thing you gotta ask yourself. What do you want out of your car? Do you want something where you could win every single stoplight drag race? Do you want something that, you know, you could brag to everybody that you got 500 horsepower or whatever, or do a burnout as you're leaving Cars and Coffee? Or do you want something that goes back to the basics of driving a performance car? The connectedness, the feel, the way the car is wrapped around you. These are the things that you have to ask yourself. But if it is just about torque and 0 to 60, you're probably gonna miss the car that you're giving up, whether it's a 350Z, 370Z, Subaru WRX. I mean, and then like I said, if you're coming from a Mustang GT, you're definitely gonna miss the torque. But there's just something special about this car, and I'm glad it's still around. And we'll see how what the future is gonna hold for the GR86 and its sibling, the Subaru BRZ. But I'm hoping that this gave you some good information, that deep dive into what this car is about, and whether you should make the move and go with a new Toyota GR86. But we're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a nanosecond. All right, guys, another great slick shifting kind of day with this GR86. I definitely want to thank everybody at Toyota for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. So let me know what you think. Are you happy now with what we covered to make you feel more confident to buy a GR86 and give up whatever car you're coming from? Let me know down in that comment section. Also, let me know if you want to continue to see more deep dive reviews here on Rady's Rides. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. I'll come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. Got to give it up to Stephen Flood. He's making the movie magic happen, no matter which way we got to position the car. So thank you, Stephen, for all of your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.